Greetings Earthlings, Flow State Jedis, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy and I'm a Flow State Specialist. Here to help you transform, going from low to flow, helping you feel and perform your best. Let's get started today. Read the disclaimer. Listen, I wanted to speak about one of the cartoons that I think was pivotal for a lot of young men, which is Johnny Bravo, okay? As I grew up, I started to notice the impact that Johnny had on my mind because again, he was very straightforward. He had a very certain kind of approach, but you hadn't seen his backstory. Now, yesterday I watched his backstory and I found it fascinating. Let's have a look at it actually right here. Let's go.
Do you want to study with me tonight for the test tomorrow? I sure would love the company. So she asked you out?
What can I say? Even as a 98-pound weakling, I still got it.
Had it.
Got it.
You still got it, but you had it.
Susie, you go to school too much.
Can I get on with my story?
I can't wait.
Anyhow, that night I asked Sandy to go with me to the prom.
You didn't.
I did.
What did she say? Oh, yes, Johnny, yes. I would love to go to the prom with you. Oh, my gosh. I have to pick out a dress. I've got to go. I'll see you soon, Johnny.
Yeah. I was about to go to the prom with the prettiest girl in school. And I thought to myself, she deserves better. She deserves to go to the prom with a hunkin' stud with a buff bod.
Meaning my Johnny boy needed a new set of pecs.
Mama, can I just tell my story?
I'm sorry, baby. Go on with your meanderings.
Darn it. I'm tired of being a bag of bones. I'm gonna show that Biff by ordering this workout from Flex Big Arms. Boy, that only took a week. Hey, bully boy, why don't you get out of here before I give you a knuckle sandwich? Oh, Billy, you are all man. Golly, what a hug. Only 6 more weeks to the prom. All I have to say is goodbye, bag of bones. Hello, hunky meat muscle.
I finally found a love to sweep me off my feet, an everlasting love in you. Turn around, feel the sound. Hey, you, work it out. Come on, let's talk it out. It's time this time, live in the now. It's like I always dreamed it could be. Jumping the gun, heavens above. Hey, you, work it out. Come on, let's talk it out. When I'm with you, baby, my feelings get the best of me. You know you drive me crazy. I'm reaching out, work it out. That's all I need to be. Hey, you, work it out. Come on, let's talk it out.
So there you have it. I was now a Johnny Burger, extra beef.
So as you notice, Johnny transformed from that scrawny looking dude to this jacked guy from his inspiration of maybe asking that girl to prom or whatever, right? Now, this is something that is very, very interesting because isn't this where a lot of our personal development journeys begin, right? Trying to impress others, trying to validate ourselves, trying to, appear cooler than we are, all of these different things. But then over the years, you start to mature and you start to get rid of the conditioning, especially if you've done any inner work, okay? If you need help with inner work, definitely reach out to me. We have a Primal Sutra bundle going on right now, package deal, so definitely let me know if you're interested. So first of all, look at his friends, right? Carl and Susie, little Susie. Now, he's resonating at the level of this kind of dork and this small child, okay? Start to understand that. Number 2, we have his whole mama's boy image, okay? Whoa, mama, right? He even calls women mama, right? Which is reflective of his own mother wound or his issues around his mother. And we clearly see that that is the main reason why he's not good with women, okay? Now, I see that as a psychologist. I see that, from looking at this character, how it seems like he's compensating for something, making his body like giant, right? And maybe he skipped leg day, I don't know. But also like it's a cartoon, right? Now, I know in the example that we saw that he was using just a resistance band to get that swole. I don't think it works like that, guys. But again, it's a cartoon. Let's not judge this cartoon from its comedic or cartoonish quality because clearly it has that. But besides that, you know, if we really look at the cartoon, besides now reflecting as an adult watching it, it probably has a few adult themes, and it's definitely not for kids, okay? Do you guys remember that one episode where Johnny was with a succubi or whatever? I mean, a vampirist or whatever? I think Johnny Bravo is an example of overt masculinity. There is a benefit to having this macho archetype, okay? But I think he has this kind of arrested development, and that is his curse. He can never grow up beyond a certain stage. He cannot grow in his personal development. Johnny stays Johnny, okay? Here's Johnny. Also, we can't ignore the fact that this guy's a complete narcissist, right? And it's actually entertaining to watch. It's actually fascinating to watch. Whoa, who's that handsome guy in the mirror? Oh wait, it's just me, right? He raises one eyebrow like, cling. What if Johnny Bravo, right, was just a fat loser who lived with his mom? And he doesn't realize that this is how people see him because his ego is so huge. So he creates this image of himself. And hey, he goes to Pop's diner all the time, right? And he eats and he eats and he eats and he never gains weight. His only friend is a nerd, okay? And I think Carl is just too much of a nice guy, right? Too much of a beta male to tell this alpha dude, supposedly, right? That, Johnny, you're not this big ladies' man, okay? Stop harassing all these women. Chill for a second. Enjoy life, right? Just breathe. Allow yourself some breathing room. Stop being so thirsty all the time, right? He can't tell him that. Now, there's another theory which goes into the inner child healing that I was talking about a few videos ago, right? This is one where Johnny is just a big kid with an imagination. He's just a 6 or an 8-year-old kid impersonating the rock musicians, aka Elvis, on TV. That would explain his voice. That would explain why he's always flexing. I mean, that's weird, right? That's weird. A grown-ass man hanging out with a little kid and a dork. Now, hey, again, I'm not hating on Carl, man. Carl's cool. Carl is an initial character. Without Carl, we don't see the complementary. Without Carl, we don't see the complementary nature in John. But the whole child theory, right, of him just being a kid living in his imagination would kind of explain how he's never getting the ladies. Because you've seen those like 12-year-old boys trying to hit on everyone and everything. And it just, you're like, bro, what are you doing? Okay, that's kind of cute, right? And you brush him away. Again, these are all theories, okay? So we're not speculating, right? Oh my goodness, conspiracies around Johnny Bravo. Johnny is the male representation of the dumb blonde, right? He's a guy who goes around impressing women, going, hee, ho, ho. He's based on Elvis Presley. He's the king of pop and rock. But really, if you break it down, this is an egomaniac, okay? In the art of seduction, they say that self-absorption is actually a negative repelling trait, okay? It's not something that people are actually invested and attracted in, okay? Because in the eyes of women, he just appears dim-witted and shallow. And again, Carl is almost Johnny's alter ego, we see, because Carl actually gets the babes, right? So the accurate way to depict what's actually happening with this man, Johnny Bravo, is he has some kind of an ego defense mechanism. So denial is the biggest one. He gets rejected and he just completely denies it. Okay, now in some sense, this could be a delusion of sorts, but this is actually one of the most primitive defense mechanisms that we have. So the main characteristic of denial here is when it's pointed out to him that he's bad with women, what he's trying to do is compensate, right? Look at my muscles, look at my cool hairstyle, look at my car, look at my this. Denial happens because it helps the person's ego not deal with the emotions of anxiety or stress. So instead of actually healing himself from all of these rejections, and Johnny is kind of just denying all of it and just staying in that same pattern, okay? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, okay? But we see throughout the show, he's using the same way, same tactics, same guy, okay? You know the style, you know what it is. It's this overt, just let me just not. No, he's the forget indirect openers, bro. Just go for it. You know, that's the guy. And I get it, man. We're humans. We use coping mechanisms and things to survive. So if you are experiencing anything like Johnny Bravo's story, because I know myself as a man, I resonate with this idea of trying to show off and like kind of posture myself as bigger than other men. And I notice, like, you know, we do this. It's this unconscious thing that's happening in the background, right? And these cartoons show us and reflect to us as a mirror of our flaws in such a way that is so animated and cartoonish that it gets us to reflect and actually calm our nervous systems back down and have some sense of emotional regulation. You know what's the definition of emotional control? It's the ability to feel what you want to feel when you want to feel it without conditioning, okay? And so if you're experiencing a sadness and you can transmute it into a bittersweet symphony, okay? And come back to feeling some emotion of gratitude for that. Now you're a pleasure alchemist, my friends. Okay, we teach you how to do this art form, by the way. It's not so cut and dry like this. It's not like some kind of a cookie cutter, formula thing. It's actually practice and you envisioning, embodying, stepping into the new role, the leadership role, where you choose to become the greatest version of you. There's people down here at the emotional control level where they'll like key your car or like, smack someone in the face randomly, or they'll like, stab someone in the face, or like, maybe they're in jail, or they're like they end up in some kind of a mental institution, right? That is very low on the level of emotional control, correct? And then we go up a little bit. It's people who crave the drama, who say that I don't like all this drama, but they're really seeking out that drama. It's like that little cocaine hit of drama that they need in their lives in order to keep it highly functioning. Without it, they don't know if they can thrive, or they'll get bored, or they'll numb themselves out or whatever. So they need that little bit of drama to keep themselves in the conflict, and they attract all this negativity, and they screenshot messages and they send it to other people, and then they, stalk other people's profiles, and then that level is like, this is just a little bit higher, okay? Then higher up, you start getting the boss babe or the boss man, right? I can do everything myself. I'm an independent woman. I'm an independent man, okay? I got this, bro. I'm the lone wolf, right? I'm gonna suffer and trudge through the snow. No one has my back. Only God has my back. Don't trust nobody. Okay, that's that energy, right? Then you have, above that, you actually have the person who is slowly starting to be a little bit more in their soft nature. Maybe they're contemplative, maybe they're a little bit of a hippie, but they haven't fully integrated that yet, right? And then we have the priest beast, the alchemist, the actual archetype where you integrate both of those energies of that masculine drive with that feminine sense of surrender, right? An allowing, a letting go, right? A relaxing into the present moment. You're going nowhere to now here, okay? You're going from spirit to form. So always remember this. Going from knowledge to experience to wisdom. That's what we do. We're Flow State Jedis. Join the tribe, join the Telegram group. Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang, may we never be the same again. We're all gonna make it. See you all soon.